another episode of Holistic Healing with Deepshikha. Today I would like to speak on faith. This is one thing that I have questioned through the various stages of my life. If we see the literal meaning of the word faith, it is firm belief in something for which there is no proof. But then the question arises, if it is something that has no proof, then how is it such a fundamental aspect of human existence? Though faith is something that is often used in religious terms, but today when I try and put meaning to this word, I will be talking about it from the point of view of not religion, but as an individual who has faced multiple instances where I lost the faith that I had, and then slowly it built again. And today, here I am trying to put meaning to it. In 2018, I lost one of my dogs who was a year old at that point of time. It was very sudden and without any prior sickness or health issues. So when it happened, it led me to retreat deep within myself. At the same time, I started questioning the faith that I had always had on the higher power. By then, I had already been fighting years of sleepless nights due to the nightmares along with some other events that had been taking place in my life. For the first time in my life, I decided that there was nothing like a higher power. Or even if it was there, it definitely did not know about my existence. So for me at that point of time, everything meant nothing. People were bad, circumstances were bad. It was like I was alone against the world. So what did I do? I suffered alone. And I kept retreating further away from the world. And it kept getting worse. I refused to see anything good that happened. All I did was work and spend the little time I had left with my other pet. It took me over 3 years to acknowledge that I needed help and that the way that I was living wasn't going to lead anywhere. Now, moving ahead a few years to 2023. This year in Jan, my younger dog, who now lives with a friend, suddenly fell ill. She was so unwell that there came a time where, though we did not say it out loud, we did not know how things would turn. It was a horrible, horrible time. But what was different this time was the acceptance that whatever happens, it will be for her good. Oh, believe me, when someone you love is going through something and you see how they're hurting or the pain they're going through, it is very difficult to believe that it is for anyone's good. Of course, this acceptance wasn't there initially. I was in a very bad space mentally. I kept praying and bargaining that she was too young to be this unwell. But then again, after a few days of this, I came to the realization that what was happening was difficult as it is, and I was making it further difficult by creating various scenarios in my head instead of surrendering. And then I did just that. I surrendered. I won't say that just because I let go, things got better and she healed, but slowly things did get better. She became better. And then recently, she had another relapse. Why have I gone to such lengths to talk about my life? It's because this time, though I was miserable, how can you not be when someone you love is unwell? But I like to believe that I showed up better, and not just for myself but for her too. By this I mean that all of us have a soul journey that we decided to embark upon. And while doing it, if we have the support of our loved ones, I think it makes the entire journey much easier. And I would like to believe that's what I did for Fiona, while she taught me a huge lesson on faith. By having faith, it does not mean that you stop questioning or you never have doubts. But how I see it is that you learn to believe despite the questions and the doubts. You learn to surrender and accept and see the good, even with the questions. Faith comes in bits and pieces, initially at least. But what is better than believing you're not alone and that you're taken care of? Would you rather go through something difficult believing that you're alone and bad things happen to you when you don't deserve it? Or rather, that it is part of your soul journey and you already have what it takes to go through the experience or lesson, because you have your gurus and masters with you, taking care of you. I have recently come to believe that we are never given anything that we cannot handle. And when I look back at my life, I realize that no matter how difficult it might have seemed at that point of time, I did get out of it. And though at times I might have been bitter or lost faith, but I always had someone show up who helped me or provided me some assistance in whatever manner for me to have been able to get out of that situation. So today, when I feel it's getting too much or it's beyond me to handle, I simply close my eyes and speak to my master and my gurus and tell them, whatever is in store, if you have decided this test for me to go through, then you give me the strength to deal with it. And what I can't, I surrender to you. Of course, there are still SOS panicky prayers, but all in all, I think once I am past them, I go back to faith and surrender. Like Sai Baba says, Shraddha or Saburi. With this, I come to the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please do share it with your loved ones. See you again next week and have a great day ahead.